So who's ready for a 10 and 20, or maybe a 10 and 25, maybe even a 10 and 30? At any rate, it is beautiful here in North Carolina, and it's the end of September. Leaves are starting to change, so I'm getting really excited for fall and for the holiday season. So I went to my Holiday Mini and I pulled out the Truly Grateful stamp set. Really like this stamp set. There's lots of pieces in here that you can layer, you can add dimension and that sort of thing. So got me really excited to start working on some fall cards. So today we are going to make this fun Happy Thanksgiving card, and check out all this fun stuff. You've got Cajun Craze in there, So Saffron, you've got some fantastic earth colors in there, as well as the baked brown sugar. That's right, love that color. And the burlap. Did you guys notice the burlap? Yeah, super cool. So I'm really excited about this fall card, and I can't wait to get started. So I'm gonna grab all of my things, and why don't you guys meet me over at the craft table? All right, Stampers, so let's get started. I have got all of my ingredients laid out here. I've pre-cut everything. And again, these 10 and 20, they are so much fun because I am showing you how to lay everything out, how to prepare everything so that you can just dive right in and just have fun stamping and, and creating, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started, and you're gonna be able to find all of the sizes and dimensions on brandyscards.com. I promise I will share everything with you, and the best way to find it, honestly, is to go to my search bar and then type in tags for you. That's the name of the stamp set, or you can also type in Truly Grateful, and this card will pop up. All right, so without further ado, I think I'm ready to get started. So I've got soft suede cardstock here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it in half. Now remember, we're making 10 cards. So I've got my soft suede cardstock, just folding it in half. I've pre-cut it all, which makes it really, really nice. So I really enjoy doing that. I do this for the gals at my card classes. One thing that you can do to make it fold a little bit nicer is you can actually pre-score these as well. But if I did that, I would be spoiling everybody, so I can't do that. Well, I suppose I could, but anyway, so you could pre-score it, but I find that I'm just totally okay just folding it in half just like this. Now you can also use a bone folder, and that also makes it a really nice score line. So that is available to you as well. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is, you can see my card. One thing I really liked about this card is the background. So I was trying to figure out, well, how can I recreate this fun background and do it in multiples? I like to, designer series paper is fantastic, as you all know, but it can be expensive, especially when you're doing a lot of your fall cards. So right now I've got my cardstock, and I think we're just gonna jump right into the background here on the front of this card. So what I did is I've got two colors here of brown. I have got soft suede, and I've got baked brown sugar, which I just love that name, right? So soft suede. What I'm going to do is I am, just kind of randomly stamping this fun, well, it kind of looks like wood. I just think it's like super cool looking. So I'm going to stamp that on each piece of my my cardstock for the outside here, and I just think it looks really, really fun. And I am not, I'm not really doing it any specific way, quite honestly. It's pretty random, and just shake it up. None of these cards are going to look identical. I mean, they'll be kind of close, but they don't have to look identical at all. All right, so we're just going to keep on going. I love fall, and I love to send fall cards. Now, with that said, I know some of you are like, where in the world has Brandy Cox been? Oh my gosh, I have to tell you that I went to the Stampin' Up! Founders Circle, and it was amazing. And it was so exciting, and so I can't thank you all enough for all your continued support, encouragement, and I love getting your comments. Let me just tell you, that makes my day when I read your guys' comments. And so recently I went to St. George, Utah, and I met the corporate Stampin' Up! Staff, and it was just so amazing. Quite honestly, a dream come true for me. So it was really, really cool. I got to go into the facility and check out how stamps were made. So if you've ever wondered how they make stamps, it's really a lot of hands-on. It's pretty cool. I was quite surprised. Okay, so let me just show you. Here we've got our wood. So now what I'm gonna do is I am just kind of layering. There's really no rhyme or reason to how I'm doing it. I have got soft suede here, and I've got the fun, you know, the wispy wheat type looking thing. So I'm gonna just kind of stamp a few of these. And the reason that I pulled the yellow is because, you know, I did it without the yellow the very first time. And, you know, my husband said, well, you know, it's really pretty, but you really need a pop of color. So I pulled the yellow out and I thought, wow, that's really pretty. But then as I started to think about fall and fall colors, it was like, you know what? I need some Cajun Craze in there. I need a little bit of something else kind of crazy to kind of really bring the colors out. So that's when I grabbed the Cajun Craze. So right now I'm just stamping the yellow. So if you guys want to see how these stamp sets are made, you have to go to brandyscards.com and you can type in Founder's Circle in the search bar and you can see how they're made. It was the coolest thing I have ever done. I have to tell you, they told me to put on these gloves and they're like, okay, so the rubber has just come out of the oven and it's really hot and you have to put these gloves on. And I'm thinking to myself, really? You're gonna give me the opportunity to like, yikes. I am like the most clumsy person ever. I can't go anywhere or eat anything without spilling food on myself. So, but anyway, I did it. I was successful. So it was really exciting, super fun. So pretty darn cool. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, you know, we're stamping in the yellow. And as you can see on my sample here, which you'll also be able to see the sample on Brandy's cards, I've taken the same stamp and I have now stamped it in Cajun Craze as well. And again, that is just for a pop of color. And so I've got my Cajun Craze right here and I've just cleaned my stamp. And so I'm gonna come back in. Now I really do try to go with the rule of threes, of odds I should say. So I'm gonna stamp it 3 times. You know, one thing I was worried about is I was worried that the Cajun Craze, it is so pretty on here. Take a look at that. It's very pretty, but I was afraid that it was gonna take over and it was gonna be the focus of my card, and that's not what I wanted. So I'm not, you know, I'm only gonna stamp it like 3 times on here. So I'm gonna keep on going with this, and as soon as we finish that, then we're gonna move on. We're building layers is what we're doing. We're making our own designer series paper, and I know y'all love that as much as I do. And so just, you know, sometimes you just gotta get in there and just start stamping, and you'll be surprised. All right, so let's talk about World Card Making Day. Does anybody know when World Card Making Day is? Well, it's coming up. It's October 5th, and so I'm really excited about that. And as most of you know, a lot of my customers and my team members and my friends and family, I love to send thank you notes. I just love to send notes in general. And so being that it's World Card Making Day, and it's time to let people know how much we love them. The holidays are coming. All right, so before I tell you about that, hold that thought. Let's move on to the next thing. So I've already cleaned up my little, I've got my Cajun Craze on there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the tree trunk. At least that's what I think that is a tree trunk. It makes sense, right? So I've got baked brown sugar. So now what I'm doing is I am, again, only gonna do about 3 on here because I don't wanna overdo it and I wanna think about layers and odds, you know, the rule of odds. So I'm gonna go back through and I'm gonna stamp all of my little tree trunks on here. And remember, ladies, as much as, you know, we want to get this done in 20 minutes, that's really not what it's about. It's kind of just, it's more so about the fact that I'm showing you that, look it, this can be done and you can mass produce a large number of cards, and I'm just kind of excited to show you my thought process and how I do that. And yes, I'm a chit-chatter. I love to chit-chat. It's funny because my husband will say to me, now what do I really need to know? And I'm like, seriously? You need the whole story, you know? And then he's like, so you told me all that to get to, sure, we can do that. I did, and I wanted him to know that whole story. Anyway, back to World Card Making Day. So as I'm continuing to stamp here, World Card Making Day, I'm excited about it. It's coming up. And so I thought, well, now how can I get you guys involved to make some cards and send some notes ASAP, October 5th. So what I decided to do is I'm going to put a post up using the Best of Autumn stamp set. It's a gorgeous stamp set. I love it. And it says Give Thanks on there, which I thought was very appropriate. So I'm going to ask I'm going to put a post up, and it's going to go up October 5th. So mark your calendar. And then what I'm going to ask is that you guys go out there, and I'll have this thing called a link tool. It'll be at the very bottom of the post, and I'm going to ask that you guys upload your favorite card that you made. And then I'm going to say if you could go out there and tell me who you're sending that card to in the description. Now, before we go on with that, I'm going to tell you I'm grabbing the little acorn, and I'm going to go back to my soft suede. And again, just stamping 2 or 3 of these on here. So you guys go out there, you upload your card, tell me, you know, this is for my sister or this is for my friend Sally, and maybe why you're so grateful for her, why you're sending her that card. And then it will basically upload your card to my post so we can share all of our projects with each other, which I think is fantastic. And anything else you'd like to share, if you have a website that you've posted it on, feel free to share it. We'd love to learn about you and find your stuff as well. Because you know, that's what Stampin' Up! Is all about. It's about sharing. And they call it casing. Copy and share everything. So jump right out there and upload your card, and let's talk about you and find out what you guys have got going on. Okay? So that's World Card Making Day. What I'm going to do is I am going to select a few, probably 1 or 2 of you, and very random, just put names in a hat from the cards that are uploaded, and I will send you guys the Best of Autumn stamp set, which is a part of the Stampin' Up! Best of 25 years. So after, what is it, I think it's March or April of 2014, that stamp set will no longer be available. So you guys will, I think, enjoy having that set. All right. So now basically, like I had said earlier, I am just stamping my acorn. I did say that I was going to stamp it like 2 or 3 times, but, well, you can't always believe everything I say, you know, because as I started stamping, I think the little acorn is by far my most favorite piece on here. So because of that, I'm going to add him, you know, to a few extra places because he is just so stinking cute. But again, you don't want to get too many on there. And I found that if you push lighter, you know, if you don't push as hard, then you don't make quite as big of an indentation. Okay, so here we go. What I'm going to do now is I have got 10 insides. And, you know, let's just stamp these really, really quick. All right, I'm going to go for it. This might put me over my time, but, well, you guys will forgive me, right? So what I'm doing right now is, because this just makes it look really cool, is I am just stamping my wood on the right corner of every piece of my very vanilla inside cardstock. And again, it just looks really cool. Do you need to do this? Absolutely not. You know, that you do not need to do this, but it just looks really neat. So again, it's just about layers. It's just about adding that little something extra. And while you're doing this, you know, you should really think about doing your envelopes too. Now I know that I am not going to have time to do my envelopes as well. However, I figured, well, let's just try the insides. Okay, so now I've got my Cajun Craze. I'm just adding kind of layers and colors, and I'm stamping the little wheat right here on my Cajun Craze, or on my soft suede wood. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with some baked brown sugar. I just love that, baked brown sugar, right? Love it in my oatmeal. Okay, so here is baked brown sugar, and I've got my little tree trunk thing. And so I am just stamping that randomly on here. And again, it's layers, that's all it is, and it just looks super cool. All right, and then the very next piece that I'm gonna do is I am gonna add my, look at that assembly line. It's like ta-donk, 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 ta-donk. I like it, pretty cool. All right, so let's pull in our little, oh, I love that. Do you guys like it? Isn't that cute? That's the inside. Perfect. All right, so I'm just gonna go and keep on stamping. And so we are doing really, really good. And then what we're gonna do is, I think before we start assembling our card, because what I find is kind of when you get in that assemble mode, it's just, you know, it's easier if you just have everything done. So now we have the inside of our card done, we have the outside of our card done, and all we need to do now is pull in our Happy Thanks. So let's see here. I have got it's called the Tags for You stamp set. I need Cajun Craze. I've already pre-cut some paper, and it's just Whisper White paper, nothing crazy. I've pre-cut it, and I am just going to stamp 5 of these along the edges. And again, it's more about, you know, just doing all of the same thing at one time. It just makes it so much easier on you. So I have the punch that coordinates with that. And I am just going to go in here and punch it out. And because I am showing you how to do it, you know, do it a little bit quicker than normal, I'm just going to kind of let those fall kind of here to the side. Now, while I'm doing this, I do want to ask if you guys have any questions or comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. I really appreciate it. Now, lately I've been traveling, so if it's taken me a couple of days to get back to you, I do apologize, but I promise I will eventually get back to everybody. All right, so here we go. So now I've got my cardstock folded in half, and I am ready to assemble. All right, so let's go ahead, and my favorite thing to do is glue the insides to the very top of my card. And why do I do that? Well, because it is so much easier, and then you can fold it over, pull out the other piece. This would be your top piece. We're going to glue that down just like such. And then we have our already decorated designer series paper. Now, I've had several ladies say, now why do you layer your cards so much? You know what? I love layers. I absolutely love it. So when I originally did the background piece, and I started looking at it, I did the background piece, and I started to look at the fact that, you know, against the brown, it just kind of got lost. It wasn't quite as pretty. So I decided to, basically add the white piece just to kind of give it a little something extra. Okay, so you certainly don't need to do that, but I liked it. So anyway, that's why I did that. Now, we might just go over a couple of minutes, just because I stamped the insides. And I know I'm sending these cards to you guys, so, you know, I think you guys will forgive me, right? It's about having fun, and I am definitely loving what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is just keep on gluing these to the top. Now, I do want to point out the search bar in my website once again. I know that I've mentioned that in the past, but it's really important to me that you guys know where to find the various projects. So if you're on the home page of Brandy's Cards, make sure that you go to the right-hand side, and you'll see a post or a search Brandy's Cards bar right there. Click on that, and then when you do, you'll be able to search my website. I would recommend typing in there the names of the stamp sets that we're using, and today we're using Best of Autumn. Okay, so you'll be able to do that. All right. So we're just going to keep on trucking. You know, there's really no fast way. We're just gluing stuff down right now. So it's just a matter of kind of getting her done. But I love this stamp set. So I also want to mention to those of you who maybe need a Stampin' Up! Catalog, I noticed that the other day I was talking to a few gals, and they said, you know, I didn't realize you guys were doing that best of 25 years. Where do you find that stuff? Well, if you need a Stampin' Up! Catalog, or if you would like any of the Stampin' Up! Materials, I would love the opportunity to earn your business, and I would be more than happy to mail those to you. So the best way to contact me is, quite honestly, is to go to my website, which is brandyscards.com, and just leave me, there's a little question tab in there. Find that question tab, shoot me an email, and ask me for a catalog. Be more than happy to send it out to you right away. The other thing is make sure that you give me your physical address. It's really important. I need your address, okay? So give me your address, and then I will drop that in the mail. Of course, if you have any questions once you get it, be sure to let me know, because you know, the catalog is so fantastic, but it can definitely be a little overwhelming. So be sure to let me know if you have any questions. All right? So, you know, we're doing really good. I've got about 3 more here to glue. I know that seems to be taking a long time, but if you've ever glued stuff down, and I think I probably could have saved myself a few minutes if I didn't stamp the inside, but that's okay. That's not really what it's all about here. It's about getting it done and showing you how to do it, in a good amount of time. So All right, so I've got one more, and then after this, oh, I got two more. So then after this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to the ribbon. I've already put my, what do I want to say, my sticky strip on the back of my burlap. If you guys haven't used the burlap before, it is new. It's in our fall catalog, and it is beautiful. I love burlap. I've actually taken burlap, gone and bought some material, and I've put it on cards and then layered on top of it. And it just is, it's gorgeous. It definitely is a very, it's beautiful. I just love it. It's very fall. It's very, you know, festive. Kind of reminds me of the Stampin' Up! Party that we just had that was like, you know, it was out at the barn and it was pretty awesome. I loved it. I was right in my element. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right, so we're done with that. All right, so now what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and let's add some Stampin' Dimensionals. And we'll go ahead and stick those right here in the center of our little square piece. All right. And I am so glad that you guys are enjoying these segments. They are definitely challenging for, I just got the 1 minute warning. So that's okay. I am gonna go ahead and point it out and say it is okay. Because you know what? Not everything works out as it's supposed to work out, right? You just gotta roll with the punches. And I am digging this card and I'm having fun. So it is what it is, right? I know. All right, so I designed this card last night. It's been a while since I've been in my craft room. And I have missed not posting cards every day. And so I am back on it. And I have to tell you guys, I have a Pinehurst getaway. I have a retreat in North Carolina, in Pinehurst, North Carolina, and it's called the Stampin' Getaway. And I've done it now for 4 years, and I just absolutely, it's one of my most favorite things that I do. And I have been really focused on the projects for the ladies. I really like to do projects that are going to surprise them and wow them, and so I have been very, very focused on that. And that happens the first weekend, I believe it's the first weekend in November. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just move this paper and get this out of my way. So all I've done is just, I've punched out my thanks, I've went ahead and I've sat it, I've put it in the middle of my piece here. And we're just gonna go through and I'm just gonna glue these down really quick. And you know, if you want to tear it, you can tear it, but I kind of like it like that too. You know, it doesn't really matter how you do it. It's entirely up to you. But you definitely will need Stampin' Dimensionals because when you put this burlap down, you know, you're going to want to put your Stampin' Dimensionals on the back side, on the top and the bottom, you know, so that the burlap is in the center of it. So that'll be important to do. It's so funny because I love to embellish, and my husband will say, "Does it really need all that?" And I'll say, "Yes, it does. It needs that." And so last night he said, "Oh, I really like it." And I was like, "No, we got to add a little this and a little that." And he's like, "Oh, you had to do it." Well, of course I had to do it. You know, I like all that stuff. It's pretty cool. All right, so we've got 3 more here. And we're going to go ahead and finish those up. And then once we do that, we're going to go ahead and just pull the sticky strip on the back of our burlap and stick it to our card. Okay, so here we go. We got 1 more, and that is done. So I'm going to set this aside, and look at that. I almost did that one upside down. That's what happens when you get working fast. All right, so here I've got my burlap, and all I'm going to do is just pull the sticky strip here on the back, and we're going to put this right down on our card. And sometimes, you know, the sticky strip, you might need to get in here with your scissors and kind of pull it up. Looks like this one is going to give me troubles. Now, come on now, we are trying to get this done. Here we go. So there's 1. And so I love the burlap. Just stick it down like such, just like that. And then we'll do another one here. And let's see. Wow, this sticky strip is definitely going to make me cranky. I can tell it already. Now, yesterday when I did it, I used mini glue dots. And those made me cranky too, quite honestly.
only because it's just this burlap is really hard to work with, which I knew that it was when I did this card. But I really enjoy the burlap so much that I decided to run with it and go with it. You know, the next thing I'd like to do with the burlap is make a wreath. I've been thinking about that a lot. So I'd really like to do some sort of wreath for my front door with the burlap. I just think that would be really, really cool. All right, here we go. Come on now. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and set those aside. And what I think I'm going to do is complete the current card that I have. And then I guess I'll just go ahead and finish the rest when we shut the camera off. But to finish out this card, basically what I've done is I've just layered it on top of my, my soft suede. And I like to tear towards myself. I like that rough edge. I like it to look fun, and you know, I like that look, in that rough look. And so we're just going to put a Stampin' Dimensional on the top, and I'm also going to put it on the bottom. And the reason is because you have that burlap, and you're going to want to make sure that you have that burlap, and you're going to want to make sure that it fits around that. So I'm going to set that right there like this. Perfect. And then what I've done before to prepare ahead of time, I've bought some natural trim, and I've taken some cute little vintage pins, safety pins, just little baby safety pins, and I just tied the vintage or the natural trim to it. And I'm just going to stick it through just like this here. There we go. Check that out. How cool is that? Love it. And then when you open it up, you've got the pretty inside. So this is a Happy Thanksgiving card. I really like it. And yes, I kind of, went a little too long, but that's not what it's about. It's not about being timed. It's about showing you the assembly line of how to get several cards done in a short amount of time. And, and I think I could have these finished here in the next 5 or 6 minutes. So I hope that you give this card a try. And don't forget World Card Making Day, October 5th. So watch for my post. I will do a post, and I will definitely be sending my own thank you notes that day. And if you leave a comment, I will pick some random comments, and I will send you guys one of my cards, as well as I will, if you upload your photo of the card that you're going to send on World Card Making Day, and tell us who you're going to send it to if you don't mind. I'll just pull a name out of a hat, and I will send a couple of you this fantastic Best of Autumns stamp set. Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoyed today's presentation, and I sure do appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you can see when my next video is published and get updates from Brandy's Cards. Thanks for stopping by, and hope you have a great day.